It's a question I've asked people dozens of times.
Jazzmaster or Jaguar? Jazzmaster or Jag? Jazzmaster or Jaguar? Jazzmaster or Jag? 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 Jazzmaster or Jag?
The Fender Player II series continues this conundrum because if you're looking for a brand new offset guitar that costs less than $1,000 and says Fender on the headstock, you have two choices: the Fender Player II Jazzmaster and the Player II Jaguar. So which one is better for you? Let's find out. Welcome to Get Offset. My name is Emily and I really like your whole vibe today. This video is unsponsored. I bought this Player II Jag and I'm borrowing the Player II Jazzmaster from Zounds, so check out my affiliate Zounds links in the video description if you feel so inclined. I'll get into these two guitars in a moment, but please check out the chapters in the video description if you find yourself wanting to bounce around. Before we dig into either of these models, I want to address the elephant in the room. Both of these guitars are pretty non-traditional. They're both simplified versions of the Jazzmaster and Jag, and they're both missing the rhythm circuit. On top of that, the Jag's switching is simplified. It has a three-way toggle for the pickup selection and no bass cut switch, which is also called the strangle switch. As for what else these guitars have in common, they're both made with an alder body, have a gloss poly finish, are loaded with dual Alnico 5 single coil pickups that should be appropriately voiced for their models. Both feature Fender classic gear tuning machines, which I quite like. Both have medium jumbo fret wire, a 9.5-inch fretboard radius, a 42mm nut width, maple necks, and a slab rosewood fingerboard with rolled edges. Both also have tremolo systems that are appropriate for their model, which is to say it's not like we're working with a Strat trim here, and they both have pop-in trim arms. The big differences between these two is the scale length and the pickup voicing. The Jag, which I'm holding right now, has a shorter 24-inch scale length, while the Jazzmaster has a 25.5-inch scale length. And yes, that last 1.5 inches makes a big difference, but we'll talk about that later. I want to start with the Jag because this is my first ever Jaguar. I will be playing the Supro Airwave amp mic'd up with the Shure NX5. We'll start with the cleans. I will also start in the neck position and we'll work our way to the bridge. Middle. Bridge. Work our way back up to the neck. back to the neck, slip on, switch on this boost switch for significantly more overdriven tones. You know, maybe not significantly, but I always say that, and then in post I can always hear the difference more, so let me know if you can hear the difference in the comments. And now we'll move to the middle position. And the bridge. And finally, drive and boost, again, starting in the neck. I find that on Fender guitars, at least, it seems like the bridge is more likely to be a skosh microphonic. And let's play that little leady thing. You know what song I've been playing? Let me know in the comments, and I will be very impressed. But before I give you my thoughts on the Jag, if you're interested in picking up either of these guitars or anything else gear related at all, please consider using the affiliate links in my video description, especially the Zounds one. Using those links doesn't cost you any extra money, but a portion of each sale gets shared with me. It's a great way to support this channel doing things that, let's be honest with ourselves and each other, we were probably going to do anyway. But yes, my thoughts, keeping in mind that this is my first ever Jag, so I can't really compare it to one that has a more traditional construction, but I find this to be a very fun guitar. It's very comfortable overall, and it feels pretty well built. There are no major flaws that I can find personally, which has been the case for every Player II model I've played, which is to say that I usually don't find flaws with the Player II, and that includes the Jazzmaster, which you'll see in a second, and the Telecaster, which I also have a full-length video on. One other note is this is a very bright and spanky guitar. I love that about this, but folks in my full-length demo for the Player II Jag told me that the pickups are a little brighter than some we're used to, but again, this is literally my first Jag, so I don't know what I'm missing with regards to the rhythm circuit or the strangle switch or even the tonal qualities of the pickups. In general, I'd rather have things and not need them, and visually, I think that this guitar looks like it's missing something without the extra controls, especially up here. I feel like that's really bare and weird. But you know, the Jazzmaster also doesn't have all of those other controls. Speaking of which, this is the Player II Jazzmaster. Let's hear it clean, then with the boost, and then with the boost and the drive. And of course, we are again starting in the neck. I knew that picking one song that resolved on E and the other that resolved on A would get me, and it sure did. And let's hit the boost switch and we'll start again at the neck. playing that riff a little better on the Jag. And the drive. This doesn't feed back quite as freely as the Jag, which may be a positive or a negative depending on what you want in a guitar. Sometimes you just gotta clean the hair off of a guitar mid-demo. The Player II Jag was my first Jaguar, but this is far from my first Jazzmaster. I get into more detail in my video comparing affordable Jazzmasters, which included this, a Sire and a Squire, so check that out. But my general opinion on this guitar is very positive. Again, it's extremely comfortable and I can't find any real faults in the build quality, period. Like with the Jag, and as I've already covered, it lacks the rhythm circuit, and from my understanding, I think Jason Mays investigated this, it isn't even routed for one. And frankly, the pickups are darker than other Jazzmasters I've owned. For plenty of people, that's going to be a huge positive, especially when it comes to that bridge pickup, which I know is controversial even among people who really like Jazzmasters, but not for me. I want my Jazzmaster pickups to be brighter and twingier and janglier for that matter. This is probably perfectly suited to and voiced for rock, but I play a lot of country, so I like having the twang when I want it. I can always roll back the tone knob after all, but it's hard to get that high end back if you don't have it in the first place. It's hard to EQ it in also. Obviously that's a simple fix, swapping the pickups would do it, and that's absolutely a personal preference, so take with that what you will. So which of these guitars is right for you? If either of them? I'm not you, so I can't answer that, but here are some things that I think you should keep in mind. The big thing here is with regards to the scale length. And I'm not just talking about the fact that shorter scale guitars are often associated with being easier for folks with smaller hands, which is a real thing. I can play a few things on that Jag that I struggle to play on a full scale guitar. The bigger thing is for me, I believe Fender guitars ship with 10s. It's either 9s or 10s. I don't really remember which one, which means that regardless, the Jag is going to have less string tension than the Jazzmaster with the same string gauge. That makes bends a lot easier on the Jag, but it could reduce sustain. It makes it harder to have really low action without dealing with a little fret buzz. And you can really, when you really dig into the strings, you can really get that plucky, twangy sound, which might be what you want. But if that's not what you want, you're going to need to go with a heavier string gauge, or you're going to have to develop a lighter touch. So ultimately, it's a trade-off. It's just about getting used to the guitar, but one may immediately jive with you more so than the other. Obviously, these two guitars sound different because the pickups are different. The stock Jazzmaster pickups are a bit warmer overall than a traditional Jazzmaster, and especially when compared to the Jag. Meanwhile, folks told me that they thought the Jag was brighter than they're used to, but I can't speak from personal experience there. Ultimately, I'd recommend you just get whichever guitar feels better for you, since electronics can always be swapped out. And of course, get the one that looks better in your eyes. That is especially the case if this is one of your first guitars. I always tell people this: get the guitar that you'll see it from across the room and think, I want to and need to play that. That's also a great route to go with bicycles. If you enjoyed this video, check out the one on the screen where I compare 3 affordable Jazzmaster style guitars. Please like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Thanks for watching. Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily. Goodbye.